In today's video, we're going to be comparing a cheap versus expensive paintbrush and whether or not it's worth spending more money. Starting with the cheap flat brush, which cost less than 70 cents. This came in a 12 pack on Amazon and was very cheap. The bristles are not too long and are quite stiff and hold their shape well. This brush has been used for over a year and is still holding up pretty well. The expensive flat brush cost $4.88, which is a 597% increase from the cheaper brush. However, it is significantly larger and there are definitely some features that make you notice the difference in quality between the two, such as the handle. The bristles seem to be a lot more tightly packed and it feels really nice when holding it in your hand. The handle is much heavier as well in its weight, giving off a more professional feel. Here are the brushes side by side, so you can see in comparison the size difference as well as the quality of the handle and overall look of both brushes. Now let's test them out and see if there's actually any difference when painting with them. Starting off with the cheaper brush, I'm just going to be wetting it in a little bit of water so that my bristles are nice and wet. Grabbing some purple and white on my brush just so that I can test and see how the color applies on the pages. I'm just testing out the strokes and honestly it feels very nice. I'm used to painting with this brush. The bristles are really nice, it's soft, it's easy to work with and they're not too stiff, which I really like because I do like a bit more movement and flow when I'm painting. So it is very easy to paint with and the application is lovely. Doing the exact same thing but with the more expensive brush, I'm going to be dipping it in the water, grabbing some of the paint. The obvious difference when I'm painting with this brush is straight away I can notice that the brush is so much larger than the first. The application feels really smooth, but honestly the bristles actually feel slightly more stiff than the first brush, so it does feel like you have to apply a bit more pressure to get a good color payoff and also a nice broad stroke. Going back with the cheaper brush, I'm now going to try and paint a flower with the strokes that we just practiced, and I'm just going to test and see how the overall look of it is compared to the more expensive brush. Honestly, this brush is a breeze. I really like painting with it. It is so easy to use. The handle is a great size to hold on to, and the quality of it really has worked so well for me for over a year, and I have actually no complaints. With the expensive brush, it was nice and obviously gave me a slightly larger flower, but overall I couldn't really tell what the difference was between the two. And I think if you're going to be paying more for art supplies, then there should be some kind of noticeable difference between two applications, and for me there just wasn't. So I definitely don't think it's worth spending more money on something that honestly doesn't give you that much of a different results. Here are the strokes side by side. As you can see, aside from the size difference, you really can't tell the difference, and either flower doesn't look better than the other. They are just slightly different in their size. So if you're just starting out with acrylics, you definitely don't need to splurge on any expensive brushes to get you started. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I share new videos every single week on tutorials, painting intuitively, letting go, learning to enjoy the process, as well as sharing some of my tips and tricks in painting in a more loose and pressure-free style. So if that sounds like you, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.